Look at all sprites. Look at everyone, and everyone has got new eyes as well. I did how many eye sets? I had 7 originally, and then I ended up having about 10 by the end of it because I did some edits of some of them, and everybody's used one of those eye sets that are sort of linked to their personality and their character's avatar, their big face. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. I think there's an improvement now. Hades and Dust one. Thank you, Vagabond. And okay. I love the tiny sprites, but I also like these quite a lot. Hi, Makaru. Yeah, the tiny sprites were cute, but I've started to see things in a light that is making me think I wanna, you know, it's not a bad idea to slowly get away from the default look of RPG Maker, standing out from the crowd and stuff, which is kind of related to what I was gonna do right now. I was gonna just do something quick before we get into the dialogue today. Let's get it up. We can probably close this PSD file now because we've done what we need to. I still need to get everybody in the Lore Bible though, because the small sprites are still in the Lore Bible, but I'll save that for another time. I might get it done before the weekend. Will you use the tiny sprites as chibi moments? I don't know if we'll even have chibi moments in Raindrop Chronicles. I mean, we have a lot of quirky and silly humour. That's for sure. I mean, there's barrels in the game. That says it all. But I don't know. I'm not a very like, what's the word, anime person. I mean, I do watch anime, but I'm not like overly like. I tend to like dark stories. I'm a dark person. But even if we did have something silly, I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's whatever works when we do it. But probably, in all honesty, just use the chip as if we had flashbacks when they were children or something like that. That's kind of what I'm seeing. Okay, so we will save that and cross it off for now. It's a huge, mega big PSD file now with millions of layers. Okay. So I don't know if anyone knows, but I want to get us on Steam as soon as possible because it's a good idea too, so that you can get wishlist build up. I wouldn't feel very confident about releasing our game until we had a decent amount of wishlists. So I mean, it's still a long way off. I've crossed the Trello page off, but there's an estimated release schedule on there. Very estimated. Things are obviously subject to change, but it's good to get estimated so we can see what's ahead for us. And I was like I said last stream that maybe end of the year. I'd like Christmas and New Year period, but I don't know how long the waiting list is, so it all depends. It all depends on how long the waiting list is. Sorry about that bang if you heard it, guys. Someone slammed the door super loud. Maybe my mic's good and doesn't pick it up. I don't know. Hi Rose, hi Forgotten. Once again, I'm here to the chilliest stream on Twitch. How was your weekend so far? I'm the chilliest stream on Twitch, am I? Forgotten, that's a compliment. I appreciate that. Glad you think so. And how's the weekend so far? Very, very sleepy. Because I was up like getting everyone in stream avatars. I was like, I'm not going to sleep until everyone's in stream avatar. So I did it. Hi Mia, I'm on early enough to say hi. How are you doing, Mia? It's so good to see you. You're having a good Wednesday. How are things? How are things on your end? I've just got Steam up right now because I was just saying how I want us to be on Steam soon. Obviously, the full release of episode 1 is way off. It's not going to be till 2022, like late 2022. But we will have like pre-alpha builds and alphas and a beta that come out before. They will probably, of course, not. I'm not sure if they'll be made public, especially the super early ones. I mean, obviously the community will maybe play them, but I don't know if I'd like. I don't know yet. But of course, it's nice to get the Steam page ready, even if it's way ahead, because I want that wish list build up. That's what I want. That's what I'm aiming for. And hopefully over the months, hopefully, fingers crossed. So I wanted to look at the RPG section on Steam very quickly today at the start, before we jump into dialogue again. Just to like look at the sort of thumbnails and promo art they have, because we're doing a funding. We've started fundraising for the game, and I'm sure it'll trickle in very slowly. It's up to anyone if they want to add to the pot, even if it's just $1 or £1, depending on where you live. So I wanted to add to this. I actually wanted to change this a bit. And we need more room, so I'm actually going to get rid of the stumpy full colour sprite for now and save that for the future. I'm putting things on here that I'm prioritising, you see. So what I want is promo art for the game, to put it simply. I think that's priority, especially because we want to get on Steam soon. We want a nice thumbnail, we want something super eye-catching. Simply something that people are going to be like, whoa, what's that game? Something that's like out of my skills when it comes to doing art and design. Something that only like a true professional like character artist can do. Anyway, let me catch up with chat because you've all spoken. I've not replied. Oh my goodness. I am angry. Do you mean angry? Hi Met, how are you doing? I was trying to buy a new GPU and the sites wouldn't load because everyone was trying to get one at once, and now I'm just sad. Oh no. Let's give hugs to Mia. I hope you get one. I hope you get one, Mia. That sucks. Let me find all my huggy mates. I know I should have some, I better. I've got 2 huggy mates that got very kindly sub-gifted to me when we raided those streamers this week or last week. There you go, Mia. Hugs for Mia. Those emails. And yeah, do Steam page pronto. Yes, I've been doing my research, Vagabond, and it's very much recommended to get that Steam page up, even if like the game release is way off, even if you don't even really know when your release date's going to be, because of wish lists. Because wish lists, people that wish list your game are more valuable than any follow on social media or anything like that. That's kind of what we need to look for, so that's what we'll be doing. I want to get it by the end of the year, hopefully, but if not, if there's a waiting period, so if it happens to be, I have no idea, then it might be into the start of next year, but fingers crossed we can have it up this year. But we need, of course, get some art done, so hopefully we'll be able to. We've got time, so I think we're good, but I want something really that's going to stand out. Like I wanted to look at what everyone else has got, and some people just have their logo with a really nice neutral simple background, which is kind of, I can already do that. We've already got a logo and we've already got the background, but I kind of want to go a bit more all out. I want to get our barrels artwork. I want artwork of our gang, of our barrel characters, like super detailed artwork of them, and I could put it on a t-shirt and put it in the shop for people as well if they want to buy a t-shirt with it, and that could be like forever used as the key art of the game, of the episode 1 at least anyway. I was like thinking, if you guys have any ideas what would be really cool as like that would make people go, oh, what's this game, like something that's actually gonna draw people's eyes. I think my first thought was the Carol and maybe her companions, because they're unique characters. They're very quirky and have standout like little personalities, and I kind of love to see what an artist would do with them if I showed them our characters, what they look like, and them to do like a really detailed version of them or something. And looking for early access. I don't know if we'd do early access simply because we're a story driven game, and I've always felt early access can work very well, but mainly with sandbox games. So you know, it's kind of like with something like that, we might just have the actual game when it's officially out, when it's on Steam. But we'll obviously, the plan is to have playable builds brought out for the community to test and play gradually over the course of the development. So people will have the option to give the alpha builds a go if they wish, but I don't think it will be done in an early access kind of way, because it could I don't know, I'm not very confident about that. I think it could backfire, especially when the game isn't like polished, and I don't want to set a bad first impression, especially when it's a story game and it's like half done, the story, you know. And anyway, hi Sorta, how are you doing? It's good to see you. I just made one for that game I made on a 24-hour stream. Oh really? So that means you can get the Steam page up quite quick. What's your game called? What was it called again? It was the Running Man or something, wasn't it? Vagabond Running Man. If I put that in, will it come up? I might have got it wrong, but I remember the title was something to do with that, because I just wanted to have a peek at your Steam profile. Cutest emotes. Mia's got cute emotes. Who are these other emotes? Slap, Arkham, Ashy, and Mia. Adorable. There should only be a 2 to 3 day wait from when you submit for review. Oh, that's a relief then. That means we could get it up before Christmas for sure. What a nice Christmas present that would be, because I did say it does cost $100 to submit a game on Steam, but I already said the other day I'm going to treat myself. It's going to be my Christmas present. So yes. And I know of a good artist that does commercial stuff, very anime. Damn, I can't DM or friend you on Discord. Oh yeah, Mia, I did very recently disable my DMs because of some issues, but I will, because you're a very good friend of mine, I consider you a good friend, I'm gonna add you. So you should have got a friend request from me. I hope you did, Mia. I only have about 15 people on my friends list now. It's very, very, very short listed. But yes, Phil, I would love recommendations, because you have amazing artwork for your channel, and some of the character art you've had commissioned is like super, super good. So feel free to pass on any recommendations, because that's what I'm thinking of doing. I wanted to see if any other RPGs did something similar to what I was thinking. And I see some do have a character art in, because I think we should have character art in on our banners and promo art. Really, I think that's kind of what Raindrop Chronicles is all about. I think that'll be what grabs people's attention, especially with it being a group of quirky, endearing characters like the barrels. and a lot of them have just the logo, which is great because that means we'll stand out even more amongst of others. I wanted to look at the ones that did have character art so I could see how different the character art was to the in-game character art. I want to be inspired. And the Infinite Trial of Hopeless Room. I love how like I do have a thing for long titles like that. I think they're very they're mysterious. They make you wonder, those kind of titles. I'm going to get up a few tabs of Steam if I can, so I can get a few games up here. We'll just spend the very first part of the stream just doing a bit of research into this, and we'll be doing we'll be going back to dialogue afterwards. Steam should approve it by tomorrow. So, oh, it isn't up yet. It isn't quite up. Well, I hope it does well. I'll be keeping an eye on that one. Okay, so this is an RPG, and they have a banner with characters on it similar to what I'd want, and their game is pixel art, so that's good. That means that we're not lying to people, because that was one I was like thinking, oh, if we get a banner of some really fancy detailed Carol the Barrel and her companions, people might think those are the actual graphics and feel cheated, and it's like, no, because that's fine. Plenty of games do that, right? If anyone knows any other games that have like much more detailed character promo art than the actual game, feel free to let me know. This is one I see does, and I like it. I think it's eye-catching. What else have we got? It's something I've wanted to do for a while. It was always kind of what not even just for the promo art, for Merc as well, for like having it on so we can sell it in the shop, because I have the store section on the website now for Raindrop Chronicles, and currently we do sell shirts and masks of the fruit characters in Raindrop Chronicles, who are the first boss of the game. So yes, it would be awesome to add the barrels as well on some bits and bobs. That would be fantastic. So it would be cool. We could use it for that and for the Steam, because all we really need for our Steam is good art, a trailer, and a description of the game. So really, yes, we're there, we're ready, and we're totally fine to put it on the Steam well before the release. That's the clever and smart thing to do for us indie devs, so we can build our wish list. Hi Van, how are you doing? How are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Everybody's in the stream. Avatars, look how cool you all look. All look grown up. Don't care if it does well. Going to be a free early access game for the lads. Yeah, you'd be surprised though. I mean, the Karen game did very well from what I saw. Like, it was all of a sudden one day I was browsing Twitter and loads of streamers in my news feed were talking about it, and I was like, wow. That's the game that Vagabond Dog did. And I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm doing okay too. I'm a little bit of a sleepy one today, but I've woken up a bit more since I started streaming. I've still got to send you that PSD file, Van, so I'll do that. I promise. I won't forget. So what other games have got character art in them? There's not many. I'm actually quite surprised that most RPGs that we've looked through are just a logo with a background. They don't really have Oh, I'm looking through that at the moment. Let's look at oh no, I shouldn't have crossed that off. Actually, let's go back then. I want to tab that game though, so I don't forget about it. There are some character art on some, but we're going to have all the characters. I think we should. We can have a banner, everyone, of the container characters. We're going to get some promo art done. So I think that's what we're going to just quickly change in our banner. I still want to get some face set expressions for Carol done, because we've only got 3 at the moment, which aren't very expressive. The disgusted face is quite good, but we need more. We need more. So we're gonna. That's something I do want to still prioritise, but I'm gonna put the promo. I mean, should we call it that? Because it's going to be used for more than that. It's going to be used for the merch as well. I know what to put, because I want to put something good that's going to make people think, yeah, I'm gonna fund that. That sounds really weird about that. One sec. Let's just do some research first. I'm not finding any that are like making me want to click. That was the first one that did. This makes me want to click. That's gorgeous art, but I like foxes, so I'm biased. Oh, this is a text adventure. Interesting. So anyone who's just coming in, I'll just let you know what the plans are. We've just finished. I've finished all the character sprite work. Everybody's tall now. Everybody's got new eyes, and the eyes I picked were based on what your character's big face set looked like, so we could have it be closer and more realistic to the actual face. Because before they were super cute, but some of them were overly too cutesy, and their face was far more grown up in reality. So that's done now, and I've put them in stream avatars. I've got to just put them on the lore Bible. But I'm looking through Steam, because the goal is for us to have a Raindrop Chronicles, a Roots and Rumours Steam page before the end of the year. Vagabond Dog has informed me that it only takes a couple of days to get a game up once you submit it. So that's the goal, is for it to be a Christmas present for us all. And I would love to get some really fancy like promo banners up, because the job is for it to stand out amongst the masses, and to just look really appealing, and for the image to really tell us what the game is. And my idea was an image of Carol and her companions, like something really detailed, like super fancy, then how the characters actually look. So it wouldn't be pixel art, it'd be like a full illustration, a full colour illustration of the group. And we could use it for t-shirts, you'd use it for all the banners and as many things as we could. So actually we'll say that. it might be too long, that's the thing, because we've only got a bit of space to work with. Amazing. Yeah, I'm getting indecisive because I want a really good title for this, and I can't, my head's like that, I can't think of what to say. Primark for Steam sounds boring to me. Hi Coda, how are you doing? I put my first game on Steam last month, and yeah, it really didn't take long. Hope to see Raindrop Chronicles up soon so I can wish this. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Coda. Honestly, it would be super lovely to see a wish list slowly build, because the game release, the full release of episode 1 is still a way off. There's going to be a lot of demo builds coming out to the for us as the community to test, and before the full release actually comes out on Steam. But it's good to have that page set up well in advance, because that's the important thing for that wishlist build up, so that when you do release the game, lots of people get notified about it, and it gives your game a better chance with the algorithm. So yeah. And what's your game called, Coda? I want to have a look. We can have a peep if you want to let me know. It's up to you. There's some absolutely crazy games on here, I have to say. I want to see what some of the popular, let's look at, because we're looking at new and trending at the moment, but let's look at what some of the popular games thumbnails look like. I mean, I'm a big fan of just the logo and a really nice background, but again, like Cyberpunk already has a huge following anyway, so it's not like they need to really sell their thumbnail, but someone like us has to, because nobody knows Raindrop Chronicles apart from the folks in this stream. So it's our job to make a thumbnail that is like frigging amazing. I'm not gonna settle for less. I mean, what's this one, Neo? That's got characters on it. Let's have a look. Yeah, I kind of like the style of how it almost looks like a movie poster. Like, you've got the characters. Carol would be the biggest one because she's the main one, and then you'd see the rest behind her or something, or just smaller and going off in the background. Something of that style could work. We could look at anime sort of posters as well for inspiration for this as well. Because there's not much to work with on a tiny thumbnail, but you'd be surprised what you can do. They managed to get all their characters on that thumbnail. It's a freebie called Recruit 1. Awesome, let's have a look at it. Let's get a tab open. But congratulations for getting your first game on Steam. That's exciting. Oh, this looks cool. Coda Pearl. I like your thumbnail as well. It looks mysterious, and you're going for something similar to what I'm doing. You want that character art that looks super detailed and fancy. That's what I want of Carol and the others. Awesome. I have to look at that one. Hi Rav, how are you doing? It's good to see you. You're coming into our Steam stream where I'm spying on other RPGs and how they do their art, their thumbnails and all that kind of thing. Because we're going to do that for Raindrop Chronicles. We're getting our Steam page out by Christmas, guys. I'm aiming for it to be a Christmas present. I mean, I would do it today. Well, I would today. I'd do it before next week. I could, considering what you guys said about it only takes a couple of days to get through. But I want the promo art done, and of course, it's going to take time to get that commissioned and things. I mean, we could always get it up without the promo art, maybe, or some placeholder promo art, or is it smarter to wait until it looks as good as it can? I'm starting to get indecisive now. I'm impatient. I'm impatient. That's what it is. Oh man, Horizon! I love that game so much. Yeah, it's a beautiful game. I played it recently. I haven't completed it though, and I'm annoyed because I want to. Just finding that time. Yeah, but surprisingly, no, there's not many thumbnails with character art on them, but that makes me happy because it means we can stand out. And I understand why a lot haven't done it, because there's not much room to fit characters on, but we will. Is this really the only important image on Steam? Because I feel like the images and the promo art for Steam is just so important, because that's what people are going to see. People who have not heard of your game ever. It's their first impression. Because if we click there, and I know there's a bigger one there, which is good. It's nice that it lets you put a big version up. So we could do that too. This is again nice character art. Best startup advice, launch. Yeah, that's my question, guys. Pros in chat. My question is it better to launch immediately, like literally me launches in this week, but with very amateur promo art, or just not mediocre promo art, or launch in a month with really professional and awesome promo art? What's better? Because it's not like the game's coming out. This is just a Steam page that's sitting there so people can wish list, and we can build up the wish list over time. So, but I'm still like, I want to create a good first impression, and obviously I need to commission someone, and that'll take time. So that's the question. Do I wait, commission someone and wait, and then submit it, or submit it now and then upload the commissioned promo art once it's done? What's going to work best? Rav says get nice promo art. It's still going to be like an add to wish list thing, so get the art nice, no rush. And Vagabond says don't wait. Oh, we've got split opinions now. See, I'm indecisive too. I see both sides. So let's decide, folks. Let's make our minds up. Let's decide what I'll do. If it's just a wish list thing, then polish it up before submitting anything. I'd say now you can always update the art anytime. So we got 2 saying wait and 2 of you saying don't wait. Oh my goodness. Because you're wanting to catch attention. Yeah, first thing most people see are the visuals. Yeah, that's the thing. So it all depends, because when you submit a game on Steam, does it even get it? You know, it might not have many eyes on it. I don't know how the algorithm works there in regards to games that haven't been released. because they might just get buried anyway, and it's not like anyone would see the promo art apart from us as the community. That's what I'm wondering now. I'm kind of need to be educated on the matter. And the first thing people see is visuals, but most people aren't going to see your game first thing. A lot of people have things set up to notify them of new games. It'll take time before you even get eyeballs to judge you. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not expecting to get the Steam page up and then like hundreds will be looking at it. No, it'll probably only have a couple of views. So that's the thing. Do we just upload an amateur, just very basic Steam page and do that like as soon as possible? Or do we wait a month until we've got the professional on and do it then? Because I'm tempted by both, and I'm torn because chat is saying both as well, so that's making it even more. It really depends. I think mostly it depends what makes you feel good. Yeah, notice go off about newly submitted games. And I forget what the general advice is in the Steam wishlist and whether it's good to set up a wishlist page this early. Oh, it is. It's kind of bad. It's actually very bad to not set one up early. Because this game, let's be honest, I'm a realist, folks. We're not going to get any sales on it like we are right now. Or we'll just get very few, or just the folks in the community. We have to build over time, and that's why it's a good job this game's not getting released yet, because we've still got like a long road to go down. And if you have a small following or a small community and you release a game on Steam, like and the zero wish lists, you're not going to get anything, or you're going to get just very few. So it's smart to have a large wish list before you even release, ideally, because then people will more likely buy it. They'll get notified when it's out, and then it'll go better with the algorithm. Steam's algorithm will like you more. And if you feel more comfortable putting something up with the lower quality visuals or wait for better, either will probably work. Yeah. And people won't get new game notice until you're actually launched. Yeah, so that's the thing. And Vagabond is a sort of veteran of this, so I'm kind of like thinking, yes, that's very true. And yeah, if we release a basic Steam page for now, nobody's going to really see it apart from us and the people that I give the link to. It's not going to... Steam's algorithm isn't going to fall in love with my game and it's not going to be there for eyeballs to see. That's not how it works. It's like YouTube. I get no views on YouTube because I don't really have any subscribers on there, or not many at all. So it's the same. You have to have the masses loving you and following you before the algorithm falls in love with you. And first impressions are very important, and a project that is important to you should not be released until it is ready. I'd say wait a month so you bring the best version of the project. Yeah, well, this isn't coming out, folks. There's no build coming out, so it doesn't really matter in regards to that. So it's literally just a promo art thing, whether we wait for the commissioned art and with the characters on, or whether we just put the standard logo up for now on a normal background, like how Endless Legend do it, for example. Just the logo against a background, so it's not going to look terrible. I won't put some of that terrible up. It'll just be more simple, the promo art for now. But my intention is to get a really fancy character art illustration piece of the barrels, the container characters commission. So obviously that's going to be way more fancy when it's done, and it's going to have more of the wow factor. But just a basic, like the logo there with the background, isn't going to make anybody want to vomit or anything. It's still okay, it's just more simple. So that's the thing. And I mean, the first impression's not going to come on day one. Your store page is available. Exactly, Vagabond. And if anyone's actually interested in this project, there's a bazillion hours of VODs right here. And new art or not, they can see this channel. Yeah. And people watch VODs. I have all my VODs up on my YouTube. Like hours, days, months of VODs. In fact, I don't know how long my VODs are altogether. I'm curious now. Yeah, and oh no, not another bot. Go away, bot. Ban. Bye. Looks like we have a bot. Just put over on the front page. People could protect him. Yeah, it's all about the cute. So what I'm gonna say, guys, I'll say that the Steam page will be up anywhere between now and the end of the year. So it all depends, guys, on how I'm feeling. I'll see where the mood takes me, because really the goal of this, of putting it up earlier, which I said earlier, is so we can build up a wish list. That's simply what it's for, not for you know, there's no other purpose really. It's just so we can build up our wish list. And I was going to wait until I had final art and all that jazz, but I'm glad I got my main game up early, even if it's just fairly plain, because it gets a couple of wish lists per day. Yeah, and that's I mean, if we do it this next week or whenever, like literally in a week, compared to in a month, we could gain more, like a few more wish lists, or I don't know a number, but we might get a considerable amount of more wish lists that we wouldn't have got if we waited. So of course eventually I'd want to get the fancy promo art up. It'll get updated all the time. As far as I'm aware, Steam let you edit the page, don't they? There's no restrictions on how often you can update or anything like that. I don't even know. But if they let you just change the banner and things very easily, then we're fine. That's what I'll do. I'll get the work commissioned, and once it's done, I'll upload it then, if I decide to submit it the Steam page earlier. But I'll let you guys know what I'm thinking, and if my gut tells me I should do the Steam submission earlier, then I will. For example, when I did the picture game thing a couple of months back, it would have been smart to have a Steam page back then, because that tweet did okay. In fact, I think that was one of the better tweets I had success-wise. My most successful tweet was, funnily enough, a Final Fantasy 14 video with Careless Rex that went viral, but that's my most successful tweet of all time. But my most, outside of that, the Raindrop Chronicles picture game tweet did really well, and it would have been good if I had the wish list link then, because we could have gained wish lists from that. And so it all depends, like if there's an opportunity for me to promote it, and I feel like we need the Steam page before the end of the year, then I'll get it set up as soon as possible. Because that was a missed opportunity there with the picture game. But I wasn't even thinking of the Steam wishes then. It was a bit far away, but now I feel like it's the time. And that's awesome that you get a couple of wishes per day, Coda. GG. And did you get that? Because I know that your page, Coda, has character art. Did you have that there ready? Or did you submit it after? And plus, people giving conversation in the forums is great for analytics. And the forums. Which forums do you mean exactly, Vagabond? just so I know what I know. And you can change anything anytime. Awesome. Cool, guys. That one isn't a great example. I kind of did it all at once, but if you search my other game, Lightweight Lines, that's a better example of a game coming soon that doesn't have much on it. Simply the logo, a couple of screenies and a small description. Okay, let's look. Yeah, when I asked you guys, when I was like, is it better to have fancy promo art and submit later, or bad promo art and submit now? I think I was being a little bit self-critical of my own ability to do promo art. It will still look fine. It would, you know, like just with the logo, and it just wouldn't have like the wow factor or anything like that. That's all. So, but it will do. Once we've got this art commissioned, we'll get there. We'll get it, because we also don't know when we'll get the art commissioned. I've got to wait to get the money first for it, because I can't actually realistically commission anything right now. But once I feel we've got enough, I'll find a good artist. Mia's sent me some names, so I'll look through them, and then I'll ask them. But there might be a waiting list with them, and they might say it might not be done till January, and that would mean we gotta wait for the Steam page till, you know, sometimes you just do it and don't let anything hold you up, right? That's what I'm thinking. Simply the logo, couple of screenies, small descriptions. You can always update all this stuff. Yeah, that's great. And the trailer as well, you can update as well, I assume. Doesn't always have to stay the same trailer, because the current trailer we've got has got the old character art on it now, and obviously I'll probably want to do a newer trailer eventually. But awesome. I'm excited. Thank you, Yi. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. March 2021. Good Lord, I was just thinking, oh, that's soon. That is soon. Yeah, one thing you do need, is it true that you do need to know a release date to put in there? You can't just say to be announced or anything like that. Do you have to say? No, you don't have to say. Oh, you can. That's good, because I do have some estimated dates on our Trello, but it makes me a little bit nervous, because obviously you don't know how things are gonna go. So yeah, I'd probably rather put the TBA. Is it okay to put that? I think Ublitz is still in TBA. Oh, is it? Well, that game is. I've heard of that game, and that one is always talked about, so that's a good one to look at. Yeah, they've got TBD. I like their little banner as well with the characters. See, we'd go for something like that, I think, as well. But theirs actually look like the characters in the game. Cool. Hello there, hi Skating Nat, how you doing? Thank you for that follow, how you doing? Hope you're having a good day. We're chatting about Steam, because our game, Raindrop Chronicles, is going to be having a Steam page soon, very soon, everybody. Before I did my research, I kind of was more ignorant about it, and I thought, oh, I'll wait until we get closer to release before we have a Steam page. But then after listening to podcasts and tons of YouTube videos by professional indie devs, I came to the conclusion that it's better to get that Steam page up as soon as possible, even if your game hasn't even got its first build out yet. like Raindrop Chronicles. We're still like literally working on 0.1. And hi Midsay, great you doing, so good to see you. It's a great idea to put it on Steam. I do have some games on my wish list now that have said TBD and have had no updates for a while. Definitely good to update it on the regular. Yeah, the one thing about us, even though we're still pretty early, is that I'm very kind of active, aren't I, with my community. So I'll be updated. I'll be very much communicating what's going on. I'm not going to be like neglecting it or anything. So that's good. It's good to see that it allows that, because I wasn't actually sure whether it allowed the to be announced or to be determined option. And I would have picked an estimated date if I had to. I would have just gone by what's on our Trello currently. But it makes me feel better that it doesn't force you. Hi Artifacts, how are you doing? And what do you use to make your game now? It says I use RPG Maker for Raindrop Chronicles. It's a much easier engine, and it very much suits this sort of game that we're doing. Because I'm not much of a coder really. I'm more of a just a nerd and storyteller really. Trying to learn Godot at the moment. Awesome! I've heard that that's a good one. And how is everyone in chat? Are you doing all right, chat? Yes, I'll ask that question myself. How are you doing, chat? And how are you doing? Perhaps good afternoon if you're located in the UK. Yes, I am from the UK. I'm doing all right. I'm actually very excited now we've talked about the Steam stuff today. The Artifacts Mon. Oh, is that a game? Is it? I've put it in there and I don't even know if it is. I assumed it was Udon because we were talking about games. They're saying good morning to me. See, I'm a massive doofus now, you know, chat, because only me would do something like that. And think it was a game and search it. We all have our moments. Oh, I have those moments all the time. You'll get used to it, everyone. I'm a big silly Billy, I am. Make a fool out of myself all the time. Alright guys, so awesome. If anyone has any like insightful Steam knowledge and marketing thoughts to share, feel free to, considering we're on the subject. I've always wished I could be better at that side of things, the socials and that, because I don't exactly have tons, and I've always wished I had more of a knack for gathering interest and following, but nope. I don't think it's easy though. I don't think it's an easy thing to do, but some people tend to do it quite easily. They seem to be a natural at the Twitter and getting all that engagement. My wife had a pot pill the other day and told me that when she left the kitchen she turned on the light but closed her eyes at the same time, then wondered why the hall was so dark. Oh right. Where do you live, Artifacts? And Rose, would you think RPG Maker could be used for an MMO? It's not impossible. I've seen people on the forums attempt it, but it's probably a real feat. I don't know if it's the best engine to try that in. I did see someone try and do it though, and the screenshots did look pretty good, but it probably was a very tough job. But I'd have a look, see what would work best for that kind of thing. Canada, oh right, I was thinking maybe you were, because Canada are one of the better countries. There's a plugin called MMORPG Maker MV. Oh, is there? My concern would be performance. Yeah, well, chat, if anyone else knows if it would be good, feel free to let Rather know, because I'm not the most knowledgeable on the MMO subject or multiplayer side of games. Being a single player girl, I don't know that much about that side of things. Okay, so what are we gonna do? What we're gonna call this? So promotional art for Steam. Make this a bit shorter so we can fit something in. Amazing promotional art for Steam. It is going to be amazing. So we're just updating our fund banner thing so that we can know what it is I'm going to be focused on putting the monies into. But yes, this won't just be used for Steam. It's going to be on like t-shirts and stuff as well. We'll put it in our store on items. I think that'd be really cool. So I'd also have to make sure that whatever artist I commission, it allows that. So sometimes it costs a little bit more. Okay, save. It should update straight away. We'll see if it does. It was surprisingly good, but yeah, I don't think it's a production ready thing, more of a concept. It's nice to know that such a thing does exist, though. Can't wait to get back to the UK. Haven't seen my wife's grandparents' other family in almost 4 years. Oh, really? So you're not actually from Canada, or is it your wife that's not from Canada? So you're from, who's from the UK then out of you two? And as long as there is networking support, you could I can't speak. Theoretically, I've completely said that wrong by accident. Make an MMO, though Unity or Unreal would be better suited for that, yeah. But Unity and Unreal can be quite daunting, for sure. We're both from Canada, but her daddy's from Belfast. Oh, awesome. That's awesome. I'm a bit jealous that you live in Canada, to be honest, because I always kind of think it's a really cool country. Okay, so did that banner update? I didn't even look. Oh, it has. Awesome. It's updated, folks. We'll get that. Save. Okay, so today we're going to go back to the dialogue. I'm going to just close some of these tabs I've got open because there's quite a few. Okay, so I've got to open Draw.io. It's been a while. It was a week before last week, I think, since we last looked at the dialogues. We've been focusing on the sprite art for a bit, but it's back to the dialogue now. Error! It says it's an error. Here we go. We're here. We need to do Nigel's tall sprite eventually, but we'll wait. We'll do that another time. I might do it off stream actually. I moved from UK to Canada a couple of years ago. The winters are something else. Yeah, is it cold? Really cold there? I assume it probably would be. That's awesome. Was it a difficult process, Coda? To move? And they can be a couple of weeks of -40 every year. My goodness, I do feel the cold. I've got an electric blanket right here because I get cold very easily. Okay, everybody, so let's remind ourselves where we last were. Okay, I think we were getting towards the last part of the scene, so let me get up Google Docs. Oh yeah, one stream next week, or maybe we'll do it on Friday. We'll see how we feel. We'll revisit the Carol backstory suggestions that you guys submitted on Halloween. The really spoopy and tragic barrel backstories, and we'll shortlist some. We might even put up a poll on the Discord of the ones that stick out the most to me, and then you guys can vote on your favourites. And then we'll see which ones get the most votes, and we'll basically decide what Carol's past is going to be, because I think it'll be good to decide that as early as possible so that we can stay consistent with her character writing and dialogue from the events of her past. Surprisingly easy with the 2-year working holiday visa that's easily obtained. Then once you're here, you can apply to be permanent. Oh, you got the working visa? And yeah, oh man, my first experience of -30 was crazy. Stay inside, that's what I think. I'm a hermit anyway, so. My previous career, there were many occasions where I had to use an outhouse in -40 or colder before wind chill. Not a good experience. Right. Yeah. Get an electric blanket. I remember when I told a friend that I had an electric blanket, and they said they laughed at me and called me an old person, and I never spoke to them again. I'm proud of my electric blanket. Anybody at all between 18 and 31 years old can get it, no criteria. Unless you've committed crimes or something. Oh, that's cool. I had a friend that wanted to move from Australia to Canada, and they said that it was really tough. And they said it was going to take them years to be able to do it. I love my heated rug from Japan. Oh, you've got one as well, Van, you have an electric blanket. Heated rug's just another name for it, I suppose. Gotta have an electric blanket. Okay, so this was the outline of main quest 1-3. Scene 3. I'm gonna be a little bit on the slow side with the dialogue today, probably because it's been a while and I'm literally going back into it after a couple of weeks of not looking at it, so gotta have it refresh in my mind. But I think we was right at the end of the scene, and it's all about just finalising the scene and making it end awesomely now. If anybody wants to have a look through this, it is on the Lore Bible. It's embedded in the Lore Bible. This is all of Main Quest 1. There's 5 scenes in Main Quest 1. But one job that we do have to do is finish putting in the dialogue for main quest 2 as well. Let's get the Lore Bible up. It's a rug, you put it under you. It's fur seat, but it goes on the floor or on your couch. Oh, so you sit on that one then. That's nice. You can have a nice warm butt. So yeah, it's all there. It's literally just, I think it's just main quest, scene 3 that needs finishing. The other scenes are basically there. There might need to be the odd little thing that we change if we feel it's necessary, but right now it'll do. But we need to get. We've only got one scene of main quest 2 in, and we've actually done 4 scenes of main quest 2. We haven't done scene 5 yet though. We were in the middle of doing that, and the end of scene 5 will basically be all that we have in the first build. We're only going to have main quest 1 and main quest 2 in the first build. So I think we should get some more dialogue trees in today. I do want to, of course, finish main quest 3, but I want to read over it myself again and get into the mood for it all, because I'm a sleepy one today. I'm going to admit that, because I was up late getting everybody's avatars in to stream avatars. So we'll have a chill one, and we'll do we might look at this again Friday, but I think I might want to go back to the Carol backstory stuff on Friday as well. I'm being indecisive. We'll see. Nice. Japan is the freaking future. It totally is. I loved visiting there. I want to go back and move there, but the place will get saturated. More people means more degenerates. Yeah, Japan's a great. Like I'd love to go there on a holiday. It's a fascinating country to me, and I love sushi. So who else likes sushi? Hi baby doll, how you doing? Welcome. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Hope you're having a good Wednesday, guys. Yeah, so today I'm a sleepy one. I'm tired because I've been working my butt off. It was super hard work updating the sprites, but it's paid off. So we can have a chill one, a lazy one. Literally, I'm going to just organise some of the dialogue trees, because right now it's incomplete in the Lore Bible. It's been a long time coming to get the full complete dialogue trees for main quest 2 in the Lore Bible, so we'll do that today. Friday will be fun. I'm very tempted for it to be a poll stream where we decide together what Carol's backstory is going to be, because some of you had some really amazing ideas on Halloween for tragic tales with the barrels. I loved a lot of them. So I look forward to looking back at that file, and I'm gonna shortlist them, and we're gonna put a poll up, and I'm gonna just say that even with this poll, if something doesn't get as many votes, I might still be part of the backstory, because Carol's going to need a number of tragic events in her life to have made her dislike humans. It's not going to just be one specific event. It's not like she saw one bad human and that was it. She decided to hate all humans. It's something deeply ingrained in her that she's seen over and over again. So chances are we might have a lot, we might pick all of them on the poll, or the top 2 or 3. We might not just pick the one. But I'm kind of wanting to just put a poll up so we can see what people are most drawn to and what the most interesting and favourite backstory is out of the bunch. But we might pick a couple or a few. And I even spent one summer to learn the language so I could be ready to communicate. Oh, did you, Zava? I think the Japanese language is really beautiful. The way the letters are written. But I'm terrible at learning languages. I wish I was good. British people are bad at learning languages, but you know, some people might be good. But I'm not. And the Halloween ideas, they were nightmare fuel. They were. I remember you had a couple of good ones, Ava. So that one for sure. The one about the was it you or Kung? The one where the kids were playing with the barrels and there was an accident and the barrel got smashed or something. That was really tragic. And one of those could have been Carol's parents, or even both of them were Carol's parents, or maybe Carol's parents died on 2 different separate events. We don't know yet. That's all stuff we're going to decide. So yeah, I think Friday that'll be a really fun stream to do. So we'll do some dialogue today, and we'll go back to dialogue next week as well, and finalise it. The job is going to be to make sure every scene in Main Quest 1 and 2 really flows really well together, and each scene matters. So, yeah. The chill stream, we put in trees in today, Carol backstory on Friday, and then next week finishing all the dialogue for good. And that'll be fun. Okay. Oh, look at all those raindrops over. Exciting. Nearly 1,000. Loved living there. Americans are worse at learning languages. I always thought British people were bad because we get arrogant. We're arrogant because everybody speaks English. Well, a lot of people do. So it makes us lazy and makes us think, well, that's fine then. We'll just speak English. And it's a difficult language. I've been learning it for a long time. I'm still bad at it, but I was able to live there for a bit and I was able to get by. Yeah, Rex lived in Japan for a year, I believe, as well. He taught English there and he really loved it. I'm jealous. Our education is bad. Yeah, I learnt French and German when I was at school. I went on a German exchange as well when I was a youngster. It was awesome. But I wasn't the best at all. In fact, like my German exchange partner that I had was so amazing at English that I was embarrassed because I could barely speak German back to her. Rex and I would have lots to chat about, yeah, for sure. And I was there for a month, best month ever. Yeah, I've always said to Rex that, because if you guys don't know, Rex is my partner, that I want to go to Japan. I want us to go there one day. And I'm sure he'd like to go back there because he really enjoyed his year there. But when COVID is all over and done with, I guess. I need more Welsh and Irish speakers too. Yeah. Well, I'm close to Wales and Ireland, but not quite. And hi, Ghost. How are you doing now? Hope you're well. Hope to catch you again soon. This looks really cool. Thank you, baby. I appreciate it. We're going to be getting a Steam page soon. Anytime between now and the end of the year, our Steam page will be up, and I'll be letting you guys know on the Discord, on Twitter, on stream. I'll be talking about it all the time when it's out. So just so you know, folks, if you've got if you're curious about the game, then keep your eyes peeled and follow us on the social medias and join our Discord, and that so you don't miss out on the call announcement. So I'll make sure that there you go, chat, anyone who wants to be part of it all. Because the really cool thing about our game, I mean, it's going to be a really cool RPG with a really, really cool characters and story. I'm passionate about making it good for a solo developer. I'm going to try and take it as far as one person can. And not only that, it's very community driven as well, because so much of where the story goes will be driven by people that hang out here in stream, because we'll be doing polls. I mostly try to keep control of how things go. I'll always curate the polls myself of what the events will be, for example, but the community do get to have suggest things, and if they think something would be a really cool idea with one of the characters, or something to do, you know, with anything at all, and I like the sound of it, I'll make a note, and it could end up in a future poll, and it could end up being a direction where it goes. So I'll be like sort of outlining off stream as well a skeleton of the entire series. So to a certain degree, it's not completely improvised, but I do want to keep it a question mark there with future episodes in regards to what the story will involve to a certain degree, because it's kind of fun to me to not know what's ahead for us in the years to come with the future episodes. I think if we plan too thoroughly and we know every single event that's going to happen from now to the end, then it could then the excitement fades, because we already know everything that's going to happen. Some things I'll eventually know what's going to happen, but a lot of it I do want to keep mysterious as well, and wonder, have a question mark of what's going to happen there for it to keep us excited. And the game will be a challenge for me, because I have to force myself to be mean in games like this. Yeah? Force yourself to be mean. Do you mean that you play as good guys, Mikara? Or good characters? You're always a goodie. Alright, gotta go back to lurk mode, but hope the rest of the stream goes well. Take care, Zava. Enjoy the lurk. Thanks so much for lurking. I'm already excited to review those Carol backstory ideas, Zava. I just remember that you gave a few really good ones, so excited. I always play too nice, and I want to actually try a mean playthrough here. Yes, please do, because you know it's fun. And one thing about Raindrop Chronicles is that I'm going to try and stay as dedicated as possible to make sure that it's a varied game in regards to the outcomes of players. Like, one player's playthrough could be different from another's because of the choices you've made in the game, and the things you've done will take you in different paths and make NPCs treat you differently, and you might get different quests based on the way you've shaped your hero. I think RPGs that are very varied based on how you play it are very, very cool, especially in the age of streaming, because there's a real appeal to watching, say, a streamer play it differently to how you played it, in my opinion. So that's one really cool thing about an RPG that's not entirely linear. I mean, it sort of will be linear because it's going to be following that main quest structure still, but how that main quest goes could go very differently. And I think that's really fun to me and fascinating. Are you on Twitter or Instagram? I am indeed. So Twitter here. I don't think I've got an Instagram command because I've only just recently started using Instagram again, and I'm gonna start using it more often actually, so I can for now just put the link straight in chat for you guys. These were posted the other day, and I'm gonna try and post at least once a week on Instagram, maybe more than that if I can, but it all depends. But at least once a week I'm gonna try. So keep an eye out, guys. The profile picture changes depending on the day. It was Meryl that was up yesterday, and it's Alvira who's up today. I've been being very silly and role-playing as them in the tweets. And people like it, you know, it's actually getting a little bit more than usual since I've started being the characters. Okay, so, where were we? Here we go. We're putting in dialogue. How does your profile pic change? Do you manually do it? I do, Rav. I have to manually do it. I'd love it if there was a tool. If there is a Twitter or Instagram tool out there that does change profile picture, let me know. On schedule, I mean, like, say you put in a timer and it'll change it automatically. That'd be a really cool invention or tool if such a thing exists. But I do have to do it manually because I don't know if anything like that does exist, but it's a 5-second job, you know, to change a profile picture. So it's fun. It makes me get into the barrel characters and get to know them a bit better if I sort of treat the social medias as if it's a sort of takeover, like that character's taken over the social for that day. Yeah, that was a very mad, silly tweet. That one that I posted last night. Hello there, hi Zayas, how you doing? And thank you for the follow, Artifacts. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Found this. Oh, let's have a look. Thank you, Rav. Haven't been working on my game lately. Have another project I'm focused on at the moment. Oh, what's that project? I hope it's a fun one. Schedule changes in Twitter profile for name, bio, location, or avatar. Oh. That's interesting. I'll look into that. I hope it's complicated enough to do it for every day of the week with a different profile picture. Because Alvira's day is Wednesday, Hank's day is Thursday, Wooder's is Friday, Oliver's is Saturday and Sunday, Carol's is Monday, and Meryl's is Tuesday. There's 6 container characters. For those that don't know, the containers are the main characters of Raindrop Chronicles, basically. They're here on the lore Bible at the front. These are the people that I want in the promo art that I'll be commissioning for the Steam page, because everyone needs to know that they're the characters, they're the main ones. And yeah, there's 6 of them, so there's 1 day of the week spare. But Axel still needs to be made, Meryl's boyfriend, the oil drum. So he's gonna have Saturday off Oliver when he gets made, and Oliver will just have Sunday. I'm developing a children's toy, working on marketing it and building an audience for it. I can share a link if you'd like to see it. Sure, Artifacts, feel free to pop it in chat. And we have a creative work channel in the Discord as well, so if you ever want to like post your product or creative stuff in there, I've made that channel specially for people here who are creatives themselves and doing their own stuff. If you want to join the Discord, that is, if you dare to. But that sounds fantastic. My storybook toy. I'm going to look now because I'm curious. That's really cute that it's a toy for kids. Oh, we have a website as well. I'll look at that after. Awesome. That's adorable. I hope you can continue with your game soon. Because making a game is hard and it takes like all the priorities, doesn't it? I just looked and it looks really interesting. Hi Master Emerald, how are you doing? So good to see you. Hope you're having an awesome day. My goodness, I've got so many tabs open right now. I've got to get organised, but I want to keep them open. Okay. Yeah, we finished this scene, I think. Yeah, we got to the end. Okay, we're going to get in the flashback scene now. So, this is currently on another... another Draw.io file, but it's really messy. This is the old version, so we're going to copy and paste it all and make it pretty. And if anyone wants to follow along with this dialogue, you're more than welcome to. We have a lore Bible right here, everybody, if you want to have a nosy. It's linked to the main website, so you can get to it easy if you wish. But we do embed our dialogue in here so that the community know what's going on, so they get to know the characters, and you know, it's a lot easier to sort of write together how the scenes can unfold when the dialogue's embedded and we're all on the same page. So feel free to have a nosy if you wanna. I imagine it would be good in classrooms for a variable roleplay spaces. Teacher Brain is apparently on today. Yeah, Master Emerald is going to be a teacher. What a pro. My sister's a teacher and it takes up all the hours, so I've heard. Yes, I have a good start on the game I'm making. It's going to have 2 game modes in it. One for streamers, 10+ players, and one for party play, 3 to 6 players. Oh, that's cool. It's cool that you're making it like you're thinking about streamers as well. I think that's a smart thing to do. Because it's a really cool thing, isn't it, to have your game played by streamers. I know that if Raindrop Chronicles is ever streamed by anybody, I would go insane out of happiness. I'm building it so it's played over your phone like Jackbox games. Oh, that's cool. Jackbox games is fun. We played it Christmas, actually. I'm trying to think of the one that I played Christmas. I forgot the name of it though. The one where you have to make up a lie. Fibbage? Is that it? I don't know. Let's get the grid up. It's a little bit easier to see where to place things then. And of course we need to get new rose sprite put in here, because we've still got small rose sprite here, and as you can see on the stream avatar, she's big now. She's tall. Everybody is. Well, I'll do all that another time. If I ever return to streaming, I might. Oh, really? Well, that is awesome. Anybody who plays Raindrop Chronicles on stream will become a best friend of mine. That's for sure. You never know, Rose. I might stream Raindrop Chronicles. Masked Emeralds as well. Well, guys, I'm gonna have a big list of best friends. But keep an eye out on the Twitter and on the Discord and on the streams, folks, because the Steam page for Raindrop Chronicles Roots and Rumours is going to be released anytime between now and the end of the year. So it's very exciting, super exciting, guys. I've been doing my research and talking to the pros, and they say it's good to get your Steam page up as soon as possible, even if you don't even have a release date in mind. As long as you've got good promo art or a nice logo or something, a trailer and a description of your game, and some screenshots, you're all good. You can put TBD on the date, because the whole point of it is to build the wish list. I've admitted that I'd personally feel a little bit on edge and anxious about releasing the game before there's enough wish lists that I'm comfortable with. I'd like to see a little bit of a build up. I think it'd be nice, because nobody wants to release a game and nobody ever plays it ever. So yeah. And well, I have to step into a Google Meet and have class now. Have a good afternoon, evening. Oh, a meeting sounds intense. I hope it goes well, Artifacts. Take care, and thanks for hanging out with us today. Talk soon, I'm sure. And thanks, guys, for saying that you play and stream Raindrop Chronicles. That's very exciting. Okie doke. Got brain melt today, everybody, so bear with me while I get these dialogue trays in. It's what happens when you stay up most of the night doing work. I find it addictive. I'm a bit obsessed with making Raindrop Chronicles, everyone, I'll confess. Did you know, or are you shocked? Do I make it pretty obvious that I'm obsessed, or do I hide it well? I suppose the fact that I've done over 200 streams might speak volumes. Okay. Why am I copying that? I don't know what I'm doing today. Okay, flashback begins, that's right. So this is scene 2 of main quest. And it's called Carol's Flashback, I think. Let me get my Trello page up, because I actually have a proper outline of the scenes on here. Trello's great, everyone, by the way, if anyone's in here and is making a project themselves. I recommend this. Look how pretty this is. Look how pretty this is, everyone. Okay, so we're on the quest and dialogue today. So I put a tick next to the ones that I've already embedded, and an egg timer by the ones that aren't done or embedded just yet. So all of them in main quest 1 are done, apart from the third, because we were still in the middle of finalising that. It's a very important scene. It's when Carol joins the party, so that takes some thought, and we have probably just 2 more dialogue boxes left of that scene, and then that's done. Main quest 2, we've scene 2, 3 and 4 were like completed months ago, a long time ago they were done, but I'm just getting them all put into the tidier dialogue tree thing that's in our lore Bible. So that's what we're doing right now. It's called scene 7 here because it used to be called that, but it's actually scene 2. Scene 2 of a new quest. And obviously we delete that. Save flashback begins. Because Raindrop Chronicles might have flashbacks in it, you know, in scenes now and again. I think flashbacks are cool. I'm a fan. I think they're great for finding out things about characters that aren't in the present time or aren't with your characters right now, because all Carol's companions aren't with us in the present day. So it's a chance to get to know them a little bit, learn a bit about Carol's life before she met us. Is that program called Draw.io? Hi, by the way. Hi, Nightblade. How you doing? It is. It's called Draw.io, but it's weird because it's also called app.diagrams.net as well. It's got 2 names now. Very confusing. But I know it as Draw.io. Yes, it's a common one. It's a free one, and it's a nice little program for doing flows in. It works well for me. I did try some others out at one point or another, but I ended up just sticking to Draw.io. I do the dialogue tree layout and colour scheme a certain way now. I make it match with episode 1's colours, which is the same colours as the overlay on the stream. I think it looks nice. I also changed the font as well to one that wasn't a serif font. Okay, so we just called her the barrel here, but we're going to know her, she's going to introduce herself as Carol much earlier, so we can actually say Carol and her companions are on a cart on the road at night time now. I use the green boxes to describe the scenes and the white boxes for speech. Let me turn why isn't my electric blanket on properly? Yeah, it changed recently. I use it for class diagrams when programming. Awesome. Yeah, it's not the most elegant program in the world, but it does the job, and I've started to get quite attached to it. Hi Grabix, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. I like your name. It reminds me of Weetabix. Welcome. This is quite a lengthy scene actually, so it might take a bit of time to get this one in, but it's a job that needs doing. We won't be doing any new dialogue until, where's our Trello page? Main Quest 3, which we're not going to start doing until the early pre-alpha comes out, the early pre-alpha build. So spring I've set for that. So we're probably not even going to work on Main Quest 3 until March onwards. But we'll have story suggest-a-thon streams, and we'll know in advance how those scenes are gonna play out, at least an outline, so that we don't spend too much time thinking. I always put the character sprites on their text box so we know who's talking. The dialogue in here is like pretty good. I mean, I don't know if any's going to get slightly amended. At one point I was thinking, should Carol be more softer in this flashback to contrast with her aggressive personality in the present day? But then, because we've decided together that she has got a tragic past that involved her parents' deaths, which would have happened before this flashback, that means she would have already been a cynical and very bitter person at this point in time. So it's okay to keep her a little bit aggressive. But she kind of does show her softer side to Oliver, but she doesn't to the others so much. But she's Do you have some code to automatically import these diagrams to your game, or do you just manually implement them later? Oh, I do it manually. I think there is a way to do things like that, because I know people have come here and said so. But I just choose to do it manually because I like to what's the word? When I do the scene work for my game, I'm very detailed. I go over every little bit, and I put expressions with every single little bit of dialogue, and I like to really know the dialogue like the back of my hand. So for me, putting it in manually, I'm reading the story over and over again, and it helps me just process it and become an expert at it, if that makes sense. I like to go over things like that rather than do things the quick way sometimes, because I'm silly. But I wouldn't be against doing it with that method in the future if there was a way to do it. But it all depends if it was easy enough to do it, because if it was super technical and confusing to do, I'd just find it easier to put it in manually. All depends on if it's an easy or hard process. And oh, thanks, no problem. Yes, Draw.io is what it is. That is what it is indeed. And anyone who's here, anyone lurking, we have a website, by the way. I want to change that command to !game though, rather than !project, because it's become more than just a project now. In the beginning, it was just a project because it was a concept. There wasn't really anything there, but now it is actually, it's at the stage where it's going to be a game now. I mean, we're getting a Steam page soon, so yeah, even though the release isn't going to be way down the line, we'll still have that Steam page there so you can wish list. Why haven't we got Carol's sprite on that one? Well, it's put it miles away. I think I keep all the dialogue boxes the same size now, even if there's not much text in them, just to make it tidier. So yeah, we'll keep that the same size. I like to sort of go over the dialogue anyway while doing these things, because it helps me learn the characters and learn their tone of voice and the sort of personality we're developing for them. And also look and see if anything needs an improvement as well. Oh, this was an interesting one. I put a question mark by... Hang on. Why is that? Why is that box big? Strange. I'll copy and paste that again. Sometimes I found with Draw.io, when you copy and paste text, it messes up the formatting, like loads, and it can be a pain. So sometimes it is just easier to write it all in again. But this is only because it was so messily presented before, and it's all over the place. And since we did these scenes, I then decided to embed them in the lore Bible and get it all presented nicely for the community, and that's kind of why I'm relaying everything out again, so it can be all presented well. But from this day forward, like whenever we do scenes in the future, I'll know the way we do it now, so be easier. And turns out class isn't till 11:30 today, so I've pretend, yeah, you're back. That's good. Good to see you again. We're honoured to have you back in the stream. You've come back here of all places. How shocking. I hope the meeting's going to be okay though, and not too intense. Okay, so this is an interesting thing I was going to raise with you guys about lore with Raindrop Chronicles in a sec. Yeah, she gets cut off here, so... because Meryl's going to interrupt now at this point. Okay, so what I was going to ask, chat... I put a question mark after heaven because I don't know whether Raindrop Chronicles is going to have its afterlife be called heaven. It's an interesting thing, things like your world building and your lore, like the names you give things like this, because I think afterlife would be better as a more generic word rather than heaven. But I'm opening up this for discussion and thoughts. Stars are magical flowers in the fields of... would afterlife have a capital letter or a small? Because I get really funny about this stuff. I like it to be just right. Hi Rex, how's it going? How's the stream going? Not too bad, Rex. We were spying on Steam games earlier in the RPG category, and I was stalking them for tips because guess what? Raindrop Chronicles is going to have its own Steam page anytime between now and the end of the year. It's going to be out for you guys to wishlist the game. Are you excited, Rex? But one thing it does need, this Steam page is amazing promo art. I'm planning on getting a commission. Mia sent me some names of really cool artists she uses. I'm planning on getting a commission of Carol and her companions, like a detailed illustration of them all. And I'm going to use that in the Steam banner. And that I've actually added it to the funding now at the top. I've prioritised it above Carol's expressions just because so that, you know, it can get up as quick as possible. But I'm tempted to still upload the Steam page and get it set up before we get the promo up because I'm impatient. Yay, that's exciting. It is. Because I've been doing a lot of research. I've been absorbing a lot of knowledge lately, and it's a really, really smart thing to get your Steam page up as soon as possible. Even if your game is not anywhere close to release date or TBA, it's smart because you need that wishlist build up. You really do. Because it's not a good idea to release your game only a couple of months before official release, because you're not building up enough time to grow your wish list. Unless you have like 100,000 followers on social media, you'd probably be okay if you make your Steam page straight before release. But for someone in my position, with a smaller community, we need that gradual increase of wish lists so that we can at least have a lot of people get notified about the game and it does eventually come out, rather than 0 people. Well, that's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Mostly lowercase, but if it's a proper noun, then capital as in a place's name. Yeah, that's like what I was wondering, like afterlife, because it's a term, like it means heaven, and I thought, oh, does that mean it should be a capital because it's like an important place or whatever? But it's just a general term, isn't it? Afterlife, it's not a name of something, so that means it can be lowercase, right? I like to properly research on things like this because the last thing I want is the game to be full of grammar errors. So yeah. maybe rather than afterlife, it could be fields of our next life, but afterlife is okay for me too. Yeah, basically I think that's the thing, isn't it? Something generic enough that isn't setting anything too deeply in stone in regards to law, because if we like have like a proper name for it all, I feel like for this stage in time, this early on, well, we haven't even really developed that side of things ourselves properly yet. There's nothing in the law Bible about the afterlife just yet, but there is a bit of discussion about what it is. The barrel characters are going to talk about it in a bit. They're going to have an argument about what the afterlife is, so there's myths and rumours about what the afterlife is, which is interesting, and I love foreshadowing and all that stuff. And I'm a big fan of the trope Chekhov's gun, is it? I think that's the one it is. Which basically means that everything's there for a reason. Every element in a story must be necessary, and irrelevant elements should be removed. Elements should not appear to make false promises by never coming into play. I'm kind of very big on that, to be honest, and I feel like what these barrels talk about in this scene about the afterlife has some truth in it, you know, and it's kind of foreshadowing to the player, the audience, that, you know, this is probably the afterlife to a certain degree, even if the facts have been twisted a little bit in by people living in the world. There's some truth somewhat. And why not heaven if it is on the sky? Well, that's just it. It's not in the sky. Like, there's a question mark there, isn't there? The afterlife in Raindrop Chronicles might be different to the afterlife on planet Earth. But it might be, but it might not be. Stars are magical flowers in the fields of the afterlife. The only thing with heaven, it's just, I guess it's just too much of a word of our normal Earth, you know. Planet Earth's term, it's a little bit, I prefer to either create our own terms or go for a very, very generic term. Which is what I think afterlife's a tiny bit more generic than heaven. So it's the same with animals. It's cool to make up fantasy animal names, isn't it? Like Chocobo, rather than just chicken. So obviously we wouldn't have that because we'd be copyrighting Square Enix. But all I'm saying is it's kind of cool to sometimes make up your own words as well for things. I think the word heaven is so heavily tied into Christianity that it has the potential to take the reader out of the world. Yeah, Rex makes an excellent point, and he says it better than I could, but that's basically it. That's exactly it. It's very tied into, very ingrained with religions here on Earth, and it's almost like we're playing a game that is taking place on planet Earth then, and then we're not actually in a fantasy world, but we are. So it's good to make sure that when writing dialogue and talking about law within dialogue, that you very carefully consider that you're staying consistent to this world you're building as much as possible. Yeah, graphics, but basically what Rex says is why I'm not having it as heaven. I would say that more Western ideologies would assume heaven to be the good afterlife, not necessarily Christian, even though I do agree it's a Christian-based ideology. And it would be saying Valhalla, it's a specific word for a specific afterlife. The word heaven wouldn't exist in this world, much like Santa Claus wouldn't exist. Yeah. So it is, as Van says, something different, so it's accessible to everyone. So basically doing something that isn't planet Earth, either something generic that could be of any world, or something specific, a name that's specific and unique to the world. It's one or the two that was good. So with this thing, we're going with generic, because we don't currently have a name for heaven in our world, but afterlife's a good name, a good generic one. Calling stars, flowers of the afterlife is in the sky. I'm confused why I've needed to justify myself, to be honest. They are. This is a children's story. What Carol is saying to Oliver here is any fairy tale story that a mother would tell their child. Fantasy worlds have myths and truths the same as planet Earth does. So just because Carol's saying this doesn't mean is the fact and 100% truth. There could be some truth to it, but it's kind of like being turned into a fairy tale, a story. So it's nicer. So it's nicer for a child. Carol's not going to tell Oliver the scary truth, is she? But it's vague enough, it's vague. You're not throwing exposition and confusing exposition at the player by saying something like that. If she gets too descriptive about it, it's going to just get a bit weird, and someone like Oliver is basically a toddler is going to just get confused. So simple here is the way to go. Would the afterlife have different areas that each mainly reflect the prevailing belief systems of various corresponding in-world regions? Then having a more generic name for the larger encompassing place would make sense. Yeah, basically, Matt, that's a good point, because one thing about Raindrop Chronicles, it's a world full of different races. The regions, we made a world map together, didn't we, a few weeks back? There's going to be a real diverse range of settings and people and cultures in this world that we'll meet over the episodes, and they'll probably have different belief systems, and it's always smart to go for generic in regards to things like that, that's for sure. My gut tells me afterlife's a good one here. So but I know that so I think the next life one was good as well, but I think it just gets the point a bit better, the afterlife word, so we'll stick with that. Heaven isn't tied to the sky. The concept of heaven is just a specific word for Christian afterlife. Christianity doesn't exist in this world. Yeah, Rex is very, very knowledgeable about that side of things, and he's very correct. Also, does the afterlife use hyperbolic geometry to more easily fit all those dead people? I'm not sure. I'll have to rethink about that, Met, when I haven't got brain melt. Heaven isn't, and most languages don't even distinguish between those two words. The next world kind of makes it sound like a Dragon Ball Z sort of thing. Oh, really? Yeah, that's true as well, Matt. So, yeah, who's with afterlife? We'll stick with that. That was always something I wondered about, because there was a question mark there in the original dialogue, which basically means that when I put that, it's not 100. We need to look over it and edit it if necessary, which we have now. So we're all good, folks. So we're on to the next bit now. I don't know what's gone on with these dialogue boxes, but the cropping has gone very strange with them. So what I'm going to do is just use new dialogue boxes. I'm going to use these ones. The formatting's probably all weird in the other ones as well. So I am going to rewrite everything, but it's all good. If I put this in Notepad, maybe it'll let me copy and paste it without any issues. But it does tend to mess up the formatting when I copy. Oh, it's actually done okay that time. Okay. Meryl's avatar's gone. I don't know why they've gone. And I want it there because it's cool to see them there. So let me look through my files and find Meryl's sprite. Since Christianity doesn't exist in Raindrop Chronicles, the word exactly, Rex, exactly. That's basically he says it as my brain is trying to express in a much clearer way. Sometimes I get a brain melt while they're doing world building because of all the information we process on streams. That sort of happens, and I always have to reread the VOD, look at the VOD, and talk about it in another stream once it's sunk in. But yeah, I guess the general lesson is for something like this is what we said, which is what I said earlier. When building a brand new world in a story, either be generic and pick terms that aren't necessarily like rooted on planet Earth terms, or make up a brand new term for your own word, depending on the situation or what it is you're naming. Because I want to get as far away from this blooming planet as possible, I'll tell you that. I don't want planet Earth. I mean, of course there'll be like connections and parallels, but it's fun to make your own stuff up and have new stuff. We don't want Christianity as a religion here. We'll have our own. Okay. I can't find Meryl. Where's she hiding? Here she is. Meryl. Now let's talk about Meryl, everybody. So one thing about this scene, the differences with Meryl and Carol is personalities is some I wanted to discuss today, because they're kind of similar. They're both very loud. They're both loud, and they both very much like the sound of their own voice. They both are prone to getting angered easily, maybe, but Carol probably more so. They're both. Meryl gets excited. Carol also gets wound up quite easily too, but not so much in an excited way, more. But I wanted to think about the differences of them, mainly because Meryl's the first Beryl that we're meeting here now, and we don't want people thinking, oh, Meryl's just a copy of Carol. She's her own person too. And she's different to Carol. She has differences. I think she's softer than Carol and much more accepting of others than Carol. I'd say so. She's a lot more... Carol probably is a bit of a prude, maybe even, but Meryl isn't. Meryl... She's not no goody though. She likes to tease people, I'd say, and I think that's what we were trying to do here with Meryl's dialogue now, where she tells Oliver another version of the story, to show that Meryl, because this scene goes on, Meryl teases Oliver and Carol tells her off and says, "Stop scaring my boy." So yeah, Meryl, yeah, she can be a bit of a naughty one, I guess. Influence from Axel, perhaps. So, what does Oliver say next? Why would the stars run away from their daddy? Oliver's the sort of character that he will always ask questions. He's very curious and inquisitive, and it's very cute. But as a child would, when being told a story, they tend to ask questions, silly questions sometimes very obvious questions. But it's also an interesting way to put in a little bit of exposition, I guess, without it being forced. Like, you know, to have a story where a kid's being told a story. So what does she say now? Yeah, Carol's more uptight than Meryl. That's another difference as well, I'm realising. Like, Carol would never do... She wouldn't do that to Oliver. She's far more uptight and serious as a person. Whereas Meryl likes to tease and she likes banter. Looking at that seems to be the case. I think it might even make things kind of awkward when translating some things, because if a religion described in another language uses the sky for their afterlife, you genuinely want to convey that literally without making it sound like it's more connected to Christianity than it is. Wrong. Oh, okay, that's fine, Met. I'll have a look at that link, actually. I'll make sure I save that one. But yeah, that's the thing. We don't want anyone to have any misunderstandings, like, and assume that, oh, this must be Christianity, or, you know, because it isn't. There's nothing that this is a new world with new religions. So, and translating is a good point as well, because I would love to do that. I've heard it's an expensive process, so it would all depend on how well the game did. But I would love to get Raindrop Chronicles translated into Japanese, because I think that it would have an appeal to the Japanese. And a lot of the RPG Maker games have got a big fan base there. But it's expensive to do that, and it all depends on word count and how much dialogue you've got in the game. And I'm not going to hold back from having plenty of dialogue. I hate fluff. I hate dialogue fluff. So every dialogue box has a purpose in Raindrop Chronicles, but it's still very dialogue driven, and there's still going to be a lot because we've got branching paths and stuff. So I'm not going to hold back just because of my dream of getting it translated to Japanese. Like, no, I'd rather just have plenty of dialogue and have it just remain in English if we have to. The first one is just an orange emoji. Where? I don't see an orange emoji. But I think it's so good to carefully consider things like that. I'm glad we had that conversation, chat, because you can easily cock up and add something in your dialogue that's very misleading just because you didn't think about it enough. So yeah, I think it's very good to be generic with things. I think we've been smart there. Never considered how that might affect translations. Good thought. Okay, so because he's a gluttonous monster, he hungers for their light. And then Meryl is gonna say, oh no, it's Oliver that speaks. Now he gets a little bit scared. But this is an interesting one. I love the ideas that there's different versions of the story coming in now and potentially different tales. And it's like, why does Meryl have such a dark story here? And it turns out that it was Axel that told Meryl because she says so. She's like, Oliver's like, that's not true, is it? A daddy wouldn't hurt his children. Because Oliver's innocent. He thinks every daddy's good because he's had a good father figure with Hank. Well, grandpapa figure with Hank. But Axel told Meryl this story, and it's like, why is Axel so dark? Maybe Axel had a bad daddy. Maybe that could be Axel's story, and it's a foreshadowing to it. Okay, so oh no, it didn't like us that time when we copied and pasted. It's also cool to review this, like go over this dialogue together and just make sure everything's all right and there's nothing like sticking out at us, like yelling at us that we need to change. That's, you know, so it's good. And this is updating in real time, everyone, so it's on the Law Bible as we do it. So if anyone wants to look. Yeah, we're getting main quest scene 2, and this is quite a long scene, so it's gonna really go far. I think this is the longest scene so far actually in the game. And this, I did put a preview of this scene in Screenshot Saturdays a couple of months back when I was doing the Screenshot Saturdays on Twitter. But we've stopped because I've run dry of content. But it'll be back once, believe me, once we got a playable build out. I'll be doing them quite often because we'll have the content then. Yeah, I wonder, maybe his dad was a metal recycling machine, so he would literally eat old oil drums. Oh my goodness, how interesting. But you know, it's an interesting thing to consider because, you know me, if something's there in the dialogue, I want it to come back later and be a foreshadowing for something. So the fact that we've had Axel tell Meryl this really dark story about the sun and moon and the stars means that it's important to Axel to some degree. He's got a bit of a dark mind that man has, and it'll be interesting to make that character when the time comes. It's still a question mark when he's going to appear in the story. In the present day, we're more likely going to meet him in a flashback before we meet him in the present day, in all honesty. One thing we do know is that he wasn't kidnapped with the rest of the containers. So, you know, will we meet him before we meet the others? That's a question at this time. Or just ran on oil, so they were separated after his oil was used up. Yeah, thanks for the awesome thoughts, Matt. I'll definitely be making a note of that in my notes, and when we finally get to talk about Axel a bit more and discuss him and his relationship with his father, then we can bring that back up again, because it's basically assert at this point that Axel has a bit of a dodgy relationship with his dad, because unlike Oliver, who sees all dads as good, Axel doesn't. Hi Zora, how you doing? Welcome. I'm going to buy a new comp. Since you are a game dev, it's wise to ask you, is it PC or Mac good for Unity, but not from personal pref or money wise, more of a driver, hardware or software side? Does Unity run better at one of them? Can you please help me? Does anyone in chat, would anyone in chat here be able to help Zora? I wish I could help myself, but I'm not a Unity user. So, I mean, I'm honoured that you ask me and think I'm a pro, but I'm still learning a lot as I go myself. But don't listen to me completely. Yeah, I was about to say that I would always go for PC every time, but I didn't want to 100% confirm it because I'm not a Unity user. But PC is just the way to go for everything, I think, unless you're a photographer or something. My dad's a photographer. He does photography as a hobby, and he is very keen on his Mac because it's great for that, but it's not so great for things like dev and gaming. So it all depends what your industry is, really. I'm not sure what's better. I tend to think that anything game related is better on Windows, but I don't make games, yeah. And even with art these days, you don't need a Mac anymore to get things done well, yeah. I owned a MacBook while I was at university because I did a visual communication degree, so everything was based with visuals on my course, and I got the Mac for that reason. But it really wasn't necessary. I could have done it fine on a PC as well, and I probably could have played some games back then, because I didn't game for years. Well, I gamed on my Xbox 360, but I never gamed on PC because I was stuck with a MacBook laptop and I didn't have a desktop computer. I remember I downloaded Boot Camp just so I could get Steam. Plus you can upgrade or mod as needed with PC, yeah. Is there any specific reason you say PC, guys? I think really, Zora, it's just because it's better if you want to go into coding or gaming, it's just the better machine for that job. Mac can be good if you're more of a graphic designer or photographer. But still, even if you're a graphic designer or photographer, PC still does the job fine. Hi 3 Program, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. And hi Shasowski again, welcome back to the stream. It's good to see you again. I hope you're well. Do you create YouTube? Yes, I use Photoshop. I've been using for how many years have I been using Photoshop for? A long time. Since 2006, so nearly 15 years I've used Photoshop, so it's just my go-to. I use graphic scale for pixel art. If I'm creating pixel art from scratch, I tend to go for graphic scale, but if I'm just making edits, I use Photoshop. You need a Mac to test on or have someone do that for you. The only problem with PC is that you can't text the project as it'll perform on Mac. Yeah, so if you're porting to Mac, you need to have your testers. Well, if you don't have a Mac, you need to have a tester who's got a Mac. So, PC is more of an open platform, yeah. That's a good way to sum it up as well, Shasowski. I think overall PC is way more customizable than Mac. I love Mac, they just work, but they also have an iron grip on their hardware and software. Yeah, they do, don't they? And you can always run a virtual machine to run Mac OS if need be. I've used both, but PC win out as far as cost effective, yeah. I do as well. Like, I had my MacBook for like 4 years until it like basically died, and it was really expensive when it was new. Like, so it cost the same as my desktop did, my PC desktop. And my old lady PC is still alive and kicking. That's the difference, and my MacBook's dead. So my Mac couldn't ever do what my PC graphic card does, yeah. Yeah, if you like gaming, it's always PC every time. You're limited with what you can even play on Mac, aren't you? And with games on Mac. I don't know how good it is now. It might have changed in recent years, but back when I had a Mac, you could barely play anything on it. Started learning 3D art. That's really cool. So cool. I've always been fascinated by 3D art mainly because I have never ever tried that. It's one of the things because I'm the kind of creative person that tries everything at some point or another to a certain degree, but I'm a bit of a jack of all trades, me. But 3D is one thing I never really tried, probably because it's so complicated and it's very time consuming as well. And I use my PC for the Adobe Suite, video editing and all that. I've got a beast of a machine and room to upgrade if I need, but I spent less than I would have to on this than getting an equal Mac. Yeah, so there you go. Zor, everybody here is for the PC. So that's your answer. Now, Carol, now in this scene, we've chatted a bit about Oliver and Meryl and Axel, and them as characters. We've had some interesting things that got brought up about Axel's past as well. If anyone doesn't know, Axel is Meryl's boyfriend. He's an oil drum, and we've not designed his pixel art or character art yet, but we know what he's going to look like. He's a greaser. He's a bad boy greaser, typical sort of motorbike fella. He's a bad boy. So it probably got a bit of stubble actually, but could oil drums even grow stubble? That's so funny. But I guess so, because Hank's got a moustache. So, you know, obviously they can grow facial hair. One thing you might want to do though is keep an older and weaker computer to test your game on to make sure its system requirements aren't too high. Yeah. And that's one thing about having an old lady machine, because my old lady can't really take high-end games anymore. Hi Rod, how are you doing? It's so good to see you. Happy Wednesday. You'll have way less compatibility issues. Thanks chat for being so helpful to Zor though. That's great. I appreciate it. In fact, I'm actually very proud of this scene, looking back at it, because we did everything right. We managed to introduce Meryl as Carol's sister without being too obvious about it. Like, Carol said it in the dialogue, cut it out, sis. Stop frightening my son. And it was like revealed in a very natural way that Meryl is in fact Carol's sister. And of course that Oliver is Carol's son as well, because he's calling her mama. Because there's nothing worse than dialogue that's like, you are my son, and it's like just so like wooden that they obviously wouldn't have said that in real life. Thanks chat for the help, appreciated. You're welcome, and I hope you find the perfect machine for you, Zor. And just stopping in to say hi and make sure you're all right. Has your week been good? Yeah, I've been very, very much a workaholic, Rod. Stayed up super late last night finishing off the wonderful tall sprites that you see here. Everybody's tall now. 34 community characters are done. The only thing left for me to do is put them into the lore Bible. Stream Avatars isn't perfect, by the way, just so you know, guys, with its animations. It only does right side walking animations, I think, so it flips the animation round when they walk less. So sometimes, so you don't get to see the proper walking animation. And it's the limitations of the tool. But luckily in game, you'll see the animation as it should be. So if you're one of those people with attention to detail, you might have noticed, but if you're not, you wouldn't have. But it still looks good. We've grown up, I mean, at some point you see the eyes flip as well. I noticed that the eyes flip, which isn't a bad thing because they're mostly symmetrical, but that's how stream avatars do it. For some reason, it's the way it's programmed, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's the only way we can get them walking, so we have to accept it. Hope you find the best computer for needs. Yay! Sorry, being mega lurking between work and a new fluff ball. Oh, Asriel, oh my goodness. I was half asleep and I saw it. I saw the adorable kitty. It was like I was in bed and all groggy, and I opened it and completely slipped my mind. How dare I? What an adorable kitty. Yeah, everyone that's in stream, we have an adorable pets channel and we have a creative work channel. Feel free to join the Discord if you'd like, if you want to. Your kitty's famous now, Azriel. So cute. One more episode of the Queen's Gambit to go. I hope you enjoy it, Rod. I want to start watching stuff when I get some time. I do indeed. I may be wrong, but I think it's the Twitch user Wonka who made the streamer. I believe it's Clones. I think his name is Clones because he came in stream. He came in my stream once. And his avatar appeared, and I was like, why is there a random avatar walking across? It's only meant to be whitelisted to the people who are characters in the game. And he was like, the character's there because I'm the dev. And I was like, oh my god, dev's here. And I had to blacklist him from stream avatars. It was really funny. So I think his name was Clones or something to that degree, so unless he's got multiple names, I don't know. And I mean, I'm sure in an update they might add a right side walking animation, but it would just be more work for me, to be honest, because I'd have to add the right side walking into everybody's stream avatar sprite, so I don't mind. She's a diva already, will only sleep on me, not her bed, so been trying to work all day with one arm. I'm jealous. I want to hug a kitty. Speaking of heading off to finish it, thus hope you stay warm this weekend and are safe. And talk then, hopefully. If not, then the weekly Steam check-in. Yeah, take care, Rod. Thanks for hanging out with us and have a good rest of your week. Clones, yeah, I got it. He used to be regular on Twitch, not sure what channels he lurks in these days. Artifacts knows the people, it seems. Artifacts knows everybody. So, what happens after this? So this is when Meryl tells Carol it's what Axel told her, and she said it's the truth because Axel told her. So we're finding out that Meryl, we don't know who Axel is yet, but we know that he's someone special to her because she puts a lot of faith in him. This could be shortened. What do you guys think about getting rid of it's what and just having Axel told me? Sometimes extra dialogue, you realise it's fluff and you're like, actually, that could be cut. I mean, sometimes, not always. Sometimes the extra dialogue can add to the realistic speech it all depends on the character's tone of voice, I guess. And Carol is like, ugh. So both Lady Barrels, both sisters, are very argumentative. They're not calm people, either of them, but their personalities are different. Carol's more aggressive, more serious. Meryl is more playful and more trusting in personality. ZTZZZZ, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I think it looks good the way it's what. So you think it's what works? Because like it's just sometimes I go by the rule. If you can delete dialogue and it doesn't, like nothing's missed without it, it reads the same, then sometimes that is okay to do. Helps get rid of the fluff. But you know, it all depends on the situation and what also you're writing. Sometimes in some circumstances it can sound a bit empty or like something's missing if you delete something. Like it can get removed from the character and who's speaking and their tone of voice. I think Axel Told Me works. Yeah, with the it's what removed. I think what stuck out to me with that sentence was that they both started with it's, and I was like, I don't know if I'm keen, and that's what told me maybe it should go. She's a person that probably is short with people, so I can see the shortened text. Yeah, for sure. Like she's got. Meryl is very. She doesn't hold back. She's like Carol. She would very much say how she feels. And I don't really think she's a rambler either. Who would be the rambler out the gang? I'd say Hank. Hank would be the rambler. Maybe, if anybody. He's an old man who loves his stories and has a thirst for knowledge, and you know, he's so if anyone, it's probably him who rambles. Well, gotta run. Talk to you soon. Take care, Artifacts. Thanks for hanging out. Hope the meeting goes okay. So she says, ugh, Carol does, but she also walks away at this point because I have to, in this scene, I have to get them into position for the hijacking that's to come. So I need to make sure Carol, at this point, is like, ugh. And then it kind of gives a hint that Axel's not welcomed in the family because Carol's like, oh, so Carol probably doesn't have the best relationship with Axel herself because the mention of his name made her make a noise. Walks away. And make that guy, yeah, grey. To show it's an action. Maybe I use a lighter grey actually. So, yeah, the one thing about this scene, it's pretty lengthy because we're getting to know 6 new characters here. Well, 5 new characters because we've already met Carol. So it's a pretty lengthy scene. It's not like super long. I think it's about 4 minutes long when I tested it. but there's no like player choice in here because it's a flashback, so we don't have all the complex branching to do that we would in another scene. It's just a straight line. And now it's Elvira's turn to talk, so they're all like taking turns one at a time to speak. And I guess the goal here was to make sure that they each talk at the right moment, and that moment gives them a chance to show off their personality when they do appear. So it has focused completely on Oliver. It was first Oliver and Carol. Carol was a character we was already familiar with, so it wasn't too much of overwhelming with introducing too many characters. And then we introduced Meryl, and there's a bit of back and forth a bit, so we've got just the two before we bring in a new character, which I like because it could always risk being a bit much if you introduce 5 characters all at the same time. So the one at a time thing was pretty cool. So Elvira says, "Are you still seeing that rusty oil drum, Meryl? When are you going to break up with that? We're at waste of space." Yeah, she was the perfect character to pop up then and have her say about Axel, because it's not going to be Carol. Carol's the sort of person who's just like, "Oh, forget this," and Elvira is the one that would do the lecturing because she doesn't like oil drums or anything that's not a part of her family. And Oliver also might talk a lot if he's excited, but I guess Elvira would probably rant the most. She's very opinionated. That's actually a good point, Matt. When I said who would be the biggest rambler, I actually, thinking about it, Elvira would be more than Hank. Hank's more of a sleepy guy, isn't he? He's like, "Oh, let her." I could imagine them as a couple. Hank's the guy that just listens and takes it, and just so Elvira's happy, and Elvira just goes off on her rants because she's very opinionated, that's for sure, and she's got confidence as well. She's very, very sure of herself. She thinks she's the bee's knees, that one. She's got some lessons to learn that Elvira has in this game. I'd love to think of what her character arc could be. The story arc of a very narrow-minded racist. I mean, Carol to a certain degree is racist because of the whole flesh bag and hating human things, but she is not anywhere close to Elvira in terms of her level of prejudice. All Carol wants is to be accepted and to be trusted and to feel like she belongs, I guess, and has a sense of community with people, and she just feels she's not getting that with humans. It's not that she's racist. I think that if she got that with humans and they didn't like see her as some kind of joke, she would totally be okay with them. She's just had a bit of a bad past and experiences with humans. So there's a lot of baggage there and a lot of trust issues for her to get over. I am Ragnarok. I am indeed. I miss his stuff. Yeah, I've got his playlist on my computer. So it's stream safe music, which is much more relieving. How are you doing though, Ragnarok? I hope you're well. Thank you for the follow, Justice. I appreciate it. How are you doing? Haven't missed a Facebook friend, got a message in some time, yeah. that's cool. I mean, I've noticed he's not active anymore, because I was going to send him an email and mention that I'm going to be using some of his music for Raindrop Chronicles, even though he says that he doesn't need, like, you don't have to ask for permission and that. I still would do it anyway because I like to. But I'm gonna have to see. I've noticed it's not been on these last posts were a while ago. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's after 6 p.m. Stream's gone a bit fast. Just as I was having fun doing this dialogue, reminding myself how the flashback scene went. But just to sum it up, obviously Meryl doesn't like it. She answers back. Woody pipes up at that point because he wants to have his say about how desirable he is, more than Axel. And then eventually Hank's the last character to be introduced, and then this bit got cut, so it ended with the Hank and Elvira bit, and then the hijacking happens. So we've still got a bit to get in, but obviously we're not going to have time for the rest of the stream to do that. We had some interesting chats though, and as always, feel free to share your thoughts about these characters' chat and what you imagine them being like, and any potential character arcs or thoughts. Always interesting to hear. So I might get the rest of this dialogue in, but it all depends on, because there's other things that I've got to get done on my list of things to do, like the Law Bible. I've got to get the sprites up on there, and there's a few other off-stream tasks that I need to sort out as well. What engine are you using? RPG Maker is the engine I use for this game. This particular app is Draw.io. I am good. Been here a few streams ago since Vagabond Braid. It seems me and you both making RPGs. Oh, you are as well, Ragnarok. That's awesome. If you want to share, we have a Discord, a creative work channel. If you ever did want to join and share your stuff, you're totally more than welcome to. I'm an RPG Maker dev too. What engine now? I'm MV. I'm using MV2 actually. I was gonna nearly switch to MZ. And I've noticed a lot of the plugins I'm using are on MZ now, but I'm not sure yet. There's a few things on there that are only on MV still that I still might need. So I'm still very much early on in the development, that it wouldn't be too bad if I did make the switch. But it all depends. It's a bit you worry a bit in case things go wrong or don't work anymore, I guess. I'll link you in Discord. Awesome. Yay, thank you, Ezra. I have an 8-hour demo. Oh, an 8-hour demo? That's a long demo. That's cool. How long have you been developing your game then? That's awesome. Okay, guys. So we're gonna raid someone before we head off. So I will hopefully it might take a bit of time to build up the fund, but as soon as there's enough to commission that piece of art for the Steam page of all the barrels, I will do it. So hope you all have a good rest of your week. I'll see you all on Friday, everyone, and we are going to look at Carol's backstory on Friday. We're going to have a look at those lists of things that we gathered together for Halloween, and we're going to decide which events happened in Carol's life. And if we get time at some point as well, once we've decided, we will figure out the order in what they happen, like which one happened first and all that. We'll get a timeline. And we might even be able to flesh out the timeline more on the Lore Bible, because we do have a timeline on the Lore Bible, but it's literally just when they were born at this point in time. But we can always flesh it out even more with all the other events that happen in between. So fun times. What type of art are you wanting to do? Something super detailed, like anime style, I guess, like the characters looking like fully illustrated, but something that connects with the whole feel and mood of the game. I'm gonna find, because Mia Bite has sent me a link to a lot of like professional artists she commissions work for that do some really like fancy stuff, and the whole point is to have like a thumbnail on the Steam page that really grabs people's attention, so that they're like, whoa, who are these characters? These look interesting, so that they click and look into the game, so we can get eyeballs on the game basically. So it's going to just be a banner of Carol and her companions, because they're clearly the most quirky characters in the game and main characters, so they're going to be the stars. And I'm hoping I can get that art put on t-shirts and stuff, so that we can have it available in the store as well when it's done. That would be the goals. Just the barrels, yes, because we don't exactly have much room to work with on the Steam thumbnail. It's quite a small rectangle, but it's definitely like, when you think about, well, who are really the characters in the game that this is all focused on, and it is Carol and her companions really. But yes, each episode, I mean, this would just be episode 1's artwork. Each episode will probably have its own. I'll probably commission a different thumbnail and illustration piece for each episode that comes out, so there'll be different characters on the different promotional arts, and it will depend on I guess the sort of episode and what it involves really. This one might not even be the episode 1 final promo one, it might just be the generic one. Like, we might even have another one that's more linked to the story as a whole eventually, but that's almost impossible to do right now because we haven't finished the main story for episode 1. But by the time it's over with them, I might get another one done as well. So there'll be several throughout the course of the series development that we'll do. So I think starting off with the barrels is a good starting point when we think of getting some art done, but it won't be the last, I'm sure. Should be fun. It'll be fun to get the other characters as well eventually on some art. Okay, so let's find someone who's online. Thanks for a fun stream, everyone, though. It was a fun one. Didn't get super productive, but a lot of the time we don't. We just chat and ramble. I know I'm hungry for my dinner. Okay, so I'll take us down to Vagabond Dog today. There's not really many folks online, and Vagabond gave us a raid earlier as well, so we'll send love back. As he streams like twice in a day now, my goodness. Hungry too, need to make some food. I think I've got an advert in the background, haven't I? Playing in the background. There we go, turn that off. Okay, folks, I will see you on Friday. Thanks so much for hanging out. You're the best. Take care.